Am I wrong? Quiet Change 5446 says, is my husband wrong for ignoring my sister's rules regarding our niece when B watches her? My sister works a horrible schedule 11 am to 7:30 pm. She does not drive, and she had a limited pool of daycares to choose from that except her childcare voucher, but also close enough to get to by public transit and leave her enough time to get to work. My husband's office is about a 30-minute drive, and he gets out at 5ish, so he offered to pick up our niece, since no one else can reliably do so. My sister has a problem with how my husband handles our niece. He lets her eat whatever she pleases, ice cream, pizza, burgers, whatever she wants. My sister has an screen time limit and does not want her watching certain things. He ignores this rule altogether. My sister approached me one evening after I brought her home. Husband drives her to our place and watches her. I sometimes drive my sister and niece home after she comes to pick her up. She voiced her concerns to me and told her I would talk to my husband about it. I brought it up, and my husband got annoyed and told me if my sister has an issue with how I watch her daughter, she can find someone else to pick up and watch her daughter. I tried to explain she is not our kid, we have to respect her wishes when it comes to watching her if we want to watch her. He told me that my sister needs to respect our wishes cause she needs us, we don't need her. We are doing her the favor. He said she can try to find someone that will pick up, feed, watch and entire a 4-year-old free or charge 5 days a week. I'm torn and on the fence. I get where my sister is coming from, but also get where my husband is coming from. Do you think my husband is in the wrong? Snowwoods 4839 says, your sister needs to provide the food if she doesn't like it. Stop catering to your sister. Hubby is already being kind enough to watch her kid. Sister also needs to learn how to drive. Hubby before sister if you want your marriage to work. Tired Retire Red Nurse says, those are very good points. Visual Juggernaut 948 says, her child is being watched, not cared for. Big difference. Tracurgeral 1075 says, so your sister is getting free child care. Some of her rules aren't being followed. If she wants things to be a certain way, she can pay a babysitter. Otherwise, she can be grateful that her child is cared for. Or you can step up and follow the rules. He is not wrong. Realistic U9997 says, I agree with what another said. Tell your sister to provide food that she is okay with your daughter eating. As for the screen time, tell her to let the kid know that screen time at uncle's house is the only screen time she gets. She won't like that because she won't get any time with the kid. Distracted. Your husband is doing your sister a favor. Something he has no responsibility to do. Goddess of Spite says, so does your sister provide the meals and snacks already prepared for her child, or is this up to him to do so? How else does he entertain a 4-year-old for 3 hours every night of the week, or is he supposed to totally give up those 3 hours every night and play with her to entertain her? Your husband is doing all of this without pay, without compensation, and clearly without any thanks. He can't go out for drinks with his friends after work. He can't go to the gym. He's basically giving up every weekday evenings to your high and mighty sister who feels she has the right to criticize him instead of being thankful, and you're supporting her instead of him. Why don't you change your shifts and pander to your sister? You can pick up the kid and make healthy, nutritious meals and snacks that you pay for and prepare from your own money, and you can play dolls with her or read to her for 3 hours every night. See how much you like that? Yes, you're totally in the wrong. Janex Crummins says, I feel like if this was a mother-in-law flouting the mom's requests, there would be a lot more outcry. Orange Epirat 07 says, ugh, more of this choosy beggar bullshit. Free childcare and she's complaining. Your husband hit the nail on the head. She needs his help, he doesn't need her and her complaining. Unless there's a legitimate issue like he drives recklessly, she has no room to criticize. Beautiful Figure 1986 says, your husband is right, your sister has free childcare, she shouldn't complain. I'm actually surprised she had the balls and didn't think that she could lose her free babysitter. Sad Abbreviation says, beggars can't be choosers, so I would not blame your hubby. If this is what he eats every day after work, concerning itself, preparing dinners for the kid by her mother would not matter. That is if he is just building taking care of his niece into his daily routine. If he does it cause he doesn't want to cook, the least your sister could do is to prepare dinner for him and the daughter, and maybe you, so the kid eats healthy. From what I read, his sister wants the childcare and catering, and that's bit much. Even sitter would not cook a meal, but expect something lined up for easy heat up. Miserable 4381 says, she can have free daycare, or she can make rules and pay for it. It's not going to kill the kid to have 3 hours 5 days a week of some junk food and screen time. Where's the dad? Also, why can't she drive? Eggplant till 4927 says, my obvious is between Hubs and his sister. Nothing good will ever come of you getting in the middle. And Hubs is right. Patient Gas 5245 says, your sister is tar, and so are you. She gets free child care, your spouse feeds her daughter. If she doesn't like, let her pack dinner for her daughter. Your sister's job and her inability to drive are excuses that you are enabling. No Tough 3666 says, I'm sorry, you can hire a babysitter and tell them their bedtimes are 9 PM. 9 out of 10 times the kids will be up later. Kids go to grandparents, the rules will be a little different there too. The only place your sister can reinforce her rules is at her home. This child will go to friends and have different rules. The child needs to learn to go by the rules of the person's house she is in. It's different if there's a peanut allergy or something, but these aren't things that will harm her. Learning to be flexible with other people's rules is better than obeying only her mother's rules. Like at grandma's house, you eat at the table where mom may let them eat on the couch. The child could then say, well, mom lets me eat on the couch. Well, sorry, not here, you eat at the table. Although sister wants her rules carried out, it's just not practical. She does, however, have the option to find someone else to watch them. Honestly, mom needs to lighten up. r/Amiwrong. Specific aside 7501 says, Amiwrong / for refusing to quit my well-paying job far from home. I'm a 54-year-old female and currently work an hour away from our rural home. Some context, my husband and I moved from the suburbs to the country to live off the land. His idea, but I'm his wife, so I follow with him. This move required me to quit my nursing job I had held for 10 years. He left his steel mill job and cashed out his retirement early. Our rural home is now deteriorating and job opportunities are scarce. I found a nursing job 45 minutes away, which my husband disapproves of due to the distance. He makes comments at every opportunity and goes to many lengths just try and get me not to go to work. He's employed at a local factory, earning $22 hour at age 55. The significance of this is that he used to make very good money at the mill. Now he works just as hard for half of the money, and we have never benefited from living off the land. He's pressuring me to quit and find a job closer to home, even if it means a significant pay cut. I really hate where we live, and my job is a release for me. It makes me happy to get out of the area and be around people, including my 2 daughters, who live in the same town that I work. My job is what is providing for us right now. I'm the one supporting us. I don't really know what happened. We've been married for 30 years and this living off the land thing was a pipe dream, and I'm completely miserable out there. My husband knows I hate it. We actually have no plumbing at the moment. A house, if you want to call it, that has 1 bedroom. It just keeps falling apart. I think I should just continue to work where I'm at and make the commute. Tratsewa67 says, Not wrong. What does he bring to the table, besides bad selfish ideas? Oculegs 1992 says. Not wrong, but you might want to look at your relationship with your spouse, who thinks you need to be dragged down into his bucket. A Too Far says. Sounds like Green Acres. You need to go back to the city life, leave him at the farm. The Salty Mermaid says. Leave the house, and maybe the husband too, and rent yourself a cute little maintenance-free apartment in the city, close to your work and daughters. You've wasted too much of your life chasing his career and happiness, and it's time for you to focus on yours, even if that doesn't necessarily include him. Sell the house, divorce. It sounds scary, but what do you really have to lose at this point? A husband who has forced you to live miserably, and a house that is falling apart. Seems like you might be emotionally and financially healthier without all this. Tired Retired Nurse says. Is it he does not like about your job other than the distance? Is it you do not get home in time to fix him dinner? Can he not cook? How do you live without plumbing? How do you even cook? Are you carrying water from somewhere? How do you bathe? Krabby Stasp says. Not wrong. 45 minutes isn't really that far/long. Where I live, people often travel over an hour to go to their jobs in the city. CCL Now says. A textbook case of why wives need to think twice before blindly going along with husband's ridiculous ideas. Honestly, in your place I'd get myself a little apartment near work and just leave. Your husband has let you both crash and burn. You can still save yourself. Beneficial Noise 691 says. His idea, but I'm his wife, so I follow with him. This your problem. You were wrong to follow with him. Now you know he just wants to drag you down to his level. I bet he feels really emasculated, but who as it turns out he is. Not a frontiersman, B, not the breadwinner, and C, my husband knows I hate it. Knows that the only way to make you accept this is to cut off your support network, or the job and friends at work. What are you doing? Person the frick up and grow a spine. You hate your life, hate, because of him, you hate your life at 54. Tell him to sort his shit out. Or leave him. You have the power he brings, frick, all to your relationship right now. Palianian 6177 says. Hand him 2 business cards, one for a real estate agent and the other for a divorce lawyer, and tell him to choose. Either he sells the awful money pit and moves closer to civilization and nearer to your job, or you get a divorce. No Scientist 6495 says. Is he turning sovereign citizen slowly? Niarjishal says. Of course not. And an hour isn't that far. Not a Cranky Panda says. In most of the world an hour each way is normal. KN0TKN0WN says. Not wrong, your husband has become useless, unfortunately, and he has also become entirely destructive to your marriage, to you, and to your financial situation. At this point you can reliably say that all his ideas are bad, and all his ideas have been bad ever since he had this move back to the land idea. Tell him to come up with and implement a plan that will replace all the lost income past, present and future, and all the retirement and other benefits. Past, present and future, and once that plan has been in place and implemented for 5 years and has been working perfectly and replacing all the income and all the other financial benefits, you will consider having a rational conversation with him about it, and that you will not be involved in the implementation of this plan. He will do it all by himself without your help, although you will say a few encouraging words now and then once you see the plan is actually working, and not just some fantasy. Of course he can't. In other words, don't listen to any of his ideas, don't allow him to bring them up. He does not have the right to harass you. He does not have the right to harass you with bad, stupid, destructive ideas. Tell him no, and tell him he doesn't ever bring it up again. This area of conversation is done. You need to block him, or do so, if you need to, or want to separate or divorce. Do that. Take whatever legal means it will require to keep yourself in good financial circumstances. Possibly consult an attorney or divorce attorney or financial consultant to see where you stand, how much you've lost, how much you might or might not be able to regain, and what is the best path forward. Make your decision based on your own capacity for rational thoughts. Your husband has lost all of his. I suspect he has some crazy romantic fantasy and he can't admit he wrong until he's going to pursue it, until he destroys the both of you. If you let him, I guess he's free to destroy himself, but he has no right to destroy you. Should absolutely not enable him in any way. You should not cooperate with him, and you should not discuss or explain or justify with him, and you should not listen to his plans or his entreaties or anything else. Since you're a nurse, you are familiar with intellectually impaired persons. Your husband is, by reason of his insane stubbornness and his crazy fantasy, become intellectually impaired. You cannot take him seriously. You cannot treat him as though he's rational. You cannot treat him as though his ideas are worth discussing, and you cannot allow him to sap your energy in any way whatsoever. That means he doesn't get to bring this up with you again, because that's your energy. The answer is no, and the subject is closed, and he never mentioned again until he has managed to make up all of the lost financial gains all by himself. In your shoes, I would have gotten a divorce. I don't know what you should do, but I think you should take care of yourself, because if you get involved with him or stay involved with him, he is going to financially destroy you. And he's going to keep trying to get you to concede that somehow his craziness is rational, and he's going to do that for reasons of ego, because he can't admit that he was wrong. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.